I know that I'm not the only one that is really pursuing a life of, growing your own food and raising your own food and pursuing the beauty of a more country life and all of the benefit that comes with that. But I feel like this week, I've really experienced like some of the hard parts of that and the sad parts and the tragic parts of that. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit in today's video. Earlier this week, I was over at my boyfriend's house and his parents came by and they raise sheep, and they had a little towel, and tucked inside this towel was a little baby lamb that was just born that morning. And that morning they had been watching the lamb and its mother had rejected it. And it was a set of twins, and sometimes that can happen with sets of twins, whether it's instinct that the mom knows that that lamb is sick, or if she doesn't think that she has enough milk, or who knows. There's not really a specific reason that we know of, but that lamb was rejected by its mom. It kept trying to butt the lamb and stomp the lamb and wouldn't allow him to eat. And the first probably 6 hours of his life, he didn't get cleaned off. He still had all of the birth fluid all over him and hadn't really gotten any colostrum or eaten at all. It was really cold. And so when they got him, he was already really sick and not doing well and pretty weak. And so they brought this lamb over, and I offered to take him. I offered to try and nurse him back to health and bottle feed him. And this is something that I've seen before. I've seen my grandma do this. My aunt raises sheep, and I knew that the success rate wasn't very high. I knew that it was less than 50% of a chance that he would be able to survive, but I wanted to try. And I figured that, if this lamb did live, it was a little ram. If he did live, then, maybe he could be the ram for a herd that I would have someday, that he would be the start of me raising sheep. And my boyfriend has a couple large pastures that I could have kept him on once he was weaned. And so I really kind of started to dream about nursing this lamb back to health and starting something new. Like, this channel, I've really tried to document my process of starting from, last year living in the city and just having a little teeny backyard garden and pursuing a life that I really wanted, and pursuing it in ways of saving money, trying to eat healthy, trying to raise my own food, trying to figure out ways to pursue this life of farming that I really want. And so it kind of felt like this is my shot to try and pursue this venture of raising sheep. And he was going to be my first. I want you to meet my new friend. So I took him home, and pretty much immediately when I got home, he really started going downhill. I'm gonna try and get him back on his feet and try and give him lots of warmth and food and see if we can't get him back to good health and maybe save him. As you can see, right when I got home, like, he couldn't even really hold his head up. He was really going downhill. I stopped at the store, got a bottle, got milk replacer, borrowing this hot water bottle that I'm gonna fill up with hot water to keep him warm and get him warmed up, keep him warm through the night. He'll be inside with me. So I think that should be fine. I'll have some blankets and towels and he'll be in my bathroom. I also bought him a bottle with a smaller nipple because he's so tiny. I'm just gonna snip off the end and feed him with this every 2 to 3 hours until he's weaned, including through the night. So hopefully that goes well. Gave him some colostrum supplement today because he didn't get any from mom, which is really tough on those baby lambs. And then lastly, I did get him some lamb milk replacer. Let's set up his little bed and get some food warmed up for him and get him comfy. I gave him some milk replacer and he did not do well with that. Instantly had really bad diarrhea and did not do well on the milk replacer. And so I knew that if a lamb has diarrhea, it can go downhill really quick and pass away really quick. So one thing that my grandma would do is she would give goat's milk to a lamb and it would help settle their stomach. It was easier to digest than the lamb replacer. So I went to the store, got goat's milk, and all of a sudden, once he started getting goat's milk in his system, he really started to perk up. Come on, Roy. Come here. Well, Roy made it through the night. That's why I've decided to call him. Because if you've seen the Quigley Down Under movie, you'll get it. Quigley, Roy, it just makes sense. So he made it through the night. He's doing really good. He follows me wherever I go. He's been walking. He can keep his head up now. He still doesn't seem to be eating enough. Like each feeding, I would say he probably eats like half the amount of what I've researched he should be eating. So we'll see how that goes today. I think part of it is he doesn't really have a great suck reflex yet. It seems like he wants to chew the nipple and he doesn't know to suck and swallow. But the dogs like him. They were not sure what to think at first. They were quite concerned as to what this creature was. But now they go over and sniff him and lick the milk off his face. And oh my gosh, you have to see this. This is so cute. Those hardwood floors are kind of tricky, aren't they, Roy? Oh, well, you're doing so good. Oh, there you go. Come see me. Wow! Oh goodness, oh goodness. Come here. There you go. There you go. There you go. He was having good, healthy, solid poops and eating really well and running around the house, and he was like this for, you know, probably 2 days, where he was high energy and doing good. And the thing with a little lamb is they, especially when you bottle feed a little lamb, they think that you are their mom. And so he would follow me all over the house and was stuck to me like glue, and would run up to me when I would come in, and he would baw for me and was really attached to me like I was his mother. He's doing really good. I just cannot even focus because he's so stinking cute and I'm so in love. And I never experienced that with an animal before, because dogs know that you are their person, but they don't think that you're their mother. And so this was the first time I'd experienced that, and it was touching. Like it, yeah, I'd never experienced that before. And I came home from lunch one day and he was clearly going downhill. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I'm still learning. This is the first time I had done this myself, and so I'm sure there's things I did wrong, but I knew that me trying to nurse him back to health, even not knowing what I was doing, was going to give him a better shot than he was going to have with his birth mother. So I'm sure there's things that I could have improved, but that's part of this, is you learn as you go. And so I saw him really go downhill quick and just becoming more lethargic. And sorry, my dog is under my chair right now, and I think she's in labor. I don't think I've said that on this channel yet, that she's pregnant, and my other dog, Quigley, is the father. And I think she's in labor right now. So she's underneath my chair panting really loud. So if you hear that, that's why. She's okay. She's just about to have some puppies. Anyways, the lamb did end up going downhill quick. And I was up with him, you know, this whole time I'm up with him every night. Like, you have to feed a lamb every 2 hours. And so I already was used to being up with him, but that night, like, I knew that he wasn't gonna make it. He wasn't eating anymore. He had horrible diarrhea. It was just not improving at all. And that was so hard to watch. Like, that was like seeing something that saw you as its mom, and like a little baby that is supposed to be the start of something new, and like birth and new life, it is like the definition of what brings hope. And it's so beautiful and so amazing to see something start from nothing. And there's so much hope in this little life of, you know, a baby of anything, whether it's an animal or human or whatever. And to see that come to an end too early was really hard to watch. And, you know, to hold something as its life was ending, it just shook me. Like, it really shook me. And I've been around death. I grew up on a farm, a small farm, and we had animals and we had loss, but for some reason this specific situation really hit me in a way that I didn't expect. Like, really just couldn't hold back tears for several days, and just really had a hard time letting go of this little lamb that had passed away. And I think that, you know, this is part of pursuing that life, pursuing that dream. Is, you know, it's not all of the picking berries and being out in the sunshine barefoot, and that is a beautiful part of it, but loss and tragedy is a part of it too. And I think through all of this, I've been able to see that there's beauty in that too. And like being able to feel like I got to care for this animal and raise this animal for his short life, and sacrifice, you know, my time, my sleep. Like, when you're single, your life is just naturally kind of all about you. And I'm like in a relationship now, but there's been this transition in my life recently where like my life isn't about me anymore, and I don't want it to be about me. Like, I want to be sanctified, And I feel like caring for this lamb and staying up through the night and serving this little animal and stewarding this animal, it felt like a touch of that sanctification. But I feel like God really was teaching me the beauty of that sanctification process and putting aside my sleep or conveniences to serve this little animal. And I really think that that's part of being a steward of the land and steward of animals. Like, I think that that's what God called us to do. That doesn't mean that everyone has to be a farmer at all, but I think that there is this responsibility that God gave us of, like, if we are gonna eat meat and consume from the land, that we have this responsibility to care for it and to sacrifice for it and to serve it too. And I think that was such a beautiful part of this experience, was being able to see that and to see the treasure in that and see the beauty in that, and feel so moved by this little life. And I know that this will be the first of many. Like, there's going to be more loss, there's going to be more heartbreak and sadness and things that you want to be a certain way and it doesn't work out, but that's okay. And I don't want to be afraid of that. I don't want to quit when that happens, or feel defeated when that happens, or feel like it's an ugly part of this process, because I don't think it is ugly. I think that it's that loss and tragedy, there is a beauty in it. And I know that it's something small, like a little lamb and an animal, that there's so much greater losses out there. But I think that just this little touch of loss and heartbreak, and when things don't work out like you want them to, God really spoke to me, I think, through that. And I've been able to see it as something that's so beautiful and that I really cherish. And the little lamb, I named him Roy. So little Roy is going to be planted under a peach tree at my boyfriend's orchard. He has an orchard on his property, a peach orchard. And so tomorrow we're gonna plant him underneath a peach tree. That way he just has a little memento for his life, and I can think of him when I see peaches growing out of that tree. So I hope that this wasn't a downer. I hope that it wasn't something that's sad. And I know that there might not be much of an audience for a video like this, but my whole channel, I want it to show the whole process, the good, the hard, when things don't work out, the ups and downs. I want to show the whole process, not just for YouTube's sake, but for my sake. It's kind of a little bit of a scrapbook to me, in a way of, I want to be able to look back and see the things that I've grown through and experienced, and the beautiful parts of pursuing the kind of life that I want and the kind of person that I want to be and how I want to live and serve in my life. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you feel encouraged by it, whether you're going through something similar, or you experience something similar, even if it's not with loss or animal related, anything. If it's just something that you hoped for and didn't happen, big or small, I hope that this is an encouragement to you and an encouragement to see the beauty in it, and to still, you know, grieve and mourn the loss of it, but to see the beauty and to cherish it still. So I hope that didn't come across as any sort of toxic positivity, but I know I have really been impacted in a positive way from this situation, even though it was hard and there was a lot of tears, a lot of tears, more than I expected. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.